Hello to whoever is watching this. I'm here to give a presentation on our solar system and its various celestial bodies. To start, I would like to give a short introduction. I'll focus on the 8 true planets, but I'll also briefly discuss moons and dwarf planets, as I feel there is some important information there as well. To begin, we can talk about Mercury. Mercury is the smallest planet as well as the closest planet to the Sun. Many would assume that Mercury is the hottest planet due to the fact that it is so close to the Sun. However, Mercury has a wide range in temperature depending on which side is facing the Sun. The side facing the Sun is very hot, whilst the side facing away is very cold. Its polarity in temperature is due to the fact that it rotates slowly and its lack of an atmosphere. Next up, we have Venus. Venus is the second planet from the Sun and the hottest planet. Venus's heat is due to its dense atmosphere filled with greenhouse gases such as methane and CO2. Many would call Venus Earth's twin or Earth's sister, but other than size and them both being rocky planets, there isn't much in common between Venus and Earth. The third planet from the Sun is Earth. I assume many of you are familiar with this planet. Earth is the only planet confirmed to have liquid water and life. Many speculate that life could exist on other planets and moons. However, Earth is the only celestial object confirmed to have life. Earth has one relatively large moon. Proportionally, Earth's moon is larger than any other planet's. The fourth planet from the Sun is Mars. Mars gets its red-brown color from the large amount of oxidated iron on its surface. Mars has solid H2O at its south pole and may have had liquid water in its past. An interesting geological formation on Mars is Olympus Mons, the solar system's largest volcano. In fact, it is so large that it is more than twice the height of Mount Everest. Across the asteroid belt and the fifth planet from the Sun is Jupiter. Jupiter has a famous storm called the Great Red Spot, as you can see in this image here. An interesting thing about the Great Red Spot is that it has shrunken in size significantly over time. In the 1970s, the Great Red Spot was about 3 times the diameter of Earth, but now it's only about 1 Earth in diameter. Jupiter is the largest planet, being large enough to fit every other planet inside of it. Saturn is the sixth planet from the Sun and is famous for its rings. Although all Jovian planets have rings, Saturn's are by far the most prominent. For a reminder for those of you who do not know what Jovian planets are, they are ice and gas giants, which include Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Another interesting fact about Saturn is that it is the least dense planet, and if you were to put it on water, it would float. The seventh planet from the Sun is Uranus. When compared with other planets, it appears to have a tilted orbit. Although most planets orbit more horizontally, Uranus appears to orbit vertically, as you can see with its rings. Uranus is the largest ice giant, being slightly larger and less dense than Neptune. Our eighth and final planet is Neptune. Neptune is the furthest planet from the Sun, as well as the coldest planet. It can get as cold as negative 200 degrees Celsius, which is about negative 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Neptune is named after the Roman god. Now we can talk about dwarf planets. Dwarf planets are objects that aren't quite planets because they lack a few key characteristics. Either they can't clear their orbit or aren't circular due to their size, or they have an irregular orbit that doesn't really line up with other planets. Dwarf planets in our solar system include Pluto, Eris, Haumea, Ceres, and Makemake. In the picture here, you can see Haumea. Now we could talk about moons. All planets except Mercury and Venus have moons. To keep it simple, I'd consider anything that orbits a planet a moon, since there is no definitive size on what classifies a moon. Jupiter has some interesting moons that were discovered by Galileo called Galilean moons, which are Io, Ganymede, Europa, and Callisto. Ganymede is this solar system's largest moon. Thank you for watching my presentation. Feel free to take the quiz that I have linked, along with the review that I have created if you feel like you didn't learn enough. I'd like to thank the sites that I used to get free images, which are linked here.